It is Monday, May 4th, 2026 at 7 p.m., meeting number 5340. Would the clerk please call roll?
Mayor Daniel Pogue.
Here.
Commissioner Michael Burns.
Here.
Commissioner Rick Sowers.
Here.
Commissioner Chuck Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Jeff Reiner.
Here.
Tonight we'll have invocation by Pastor Steve Ormore from First Baptist Church.
Heavenly Father, we want to just thank you for all of the people that are gathered here tonight who are dedicated and committed to serving the people of Dodge City. And I pray, Father, that you would make your presence felt in this room here tonight. And in making your presence felt, make your truth known, make your wisdom felt, and may your truth just be upon everything that happens here tonight. I pray, God, that all who are gathered here tonight would just want to serve on what is best for the people here of Dodge City according to your will and your desire. Please bless everyone in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Y'all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we're going to have some amendments to the agenda. We are going to add Public Service Recognition Week under proclamations, and under new business, remove item number 3. With that, I'd seek approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Same sign for those opposed. Motion carries 5-0. First up, under petitions and proclamations, we'll have the International Firefighters Day proclamation. Whereas May 4th is recognized around the world as International Firefighters Day, a time to honor the service, courage, and sacrifice of firefighters who protect the communities from fires, disasters, and emergencies of all kinds. And whereas the date holds special meaning globally as it coincides with St. Floridian's Day, the patron saint of firefighters, symbolizing bravery and the commitment to saving lives. And whereas International Firefighters Day was first established in 1999 following the tragic loss of 5 firefighters battling a wildfire in Lytton, Australia, since then it has grown into a worldwide day of remembrance and appreciation. And whereas the day serves to honor fallen firefighters who made the ultimate sacrifice while also showing gratitude to those who continue to stand by 24/7 to respond to danger with skill, dedication, and selflessness. And whereas the Dodge City Fire Department exemplifies these ideals through its constant service, emergency response, fire prevention efforts, and public education, ensuring the safety and well-being of all residents. And whereas the City of Dodge City deeply values its integrity, professionalism, and community spirit of our firefighters, and joins with others across the world to shine a light symbolically and literally on the vital role of fire services. Now therefore, I, Daniel Pogue, Mayor of Dodge City, do hereby proclaim May 4th, 2026 as International Firefighters Day in Dodge City, Kansas. And I urge all citizens to recognize the efforts of our local fire service, honor those who have fallen, and take the time to appreciate the men and women who safeguard our lives, homes, and future every day. All right. Next up.
I think the chief's here.
Oh. Would you like to say anything, Brad? All right. All right. Next up, we will have National Train Day proclamation. Whereas federal and state transportation departments have made expansion of high-speed and inner-city passenger rail a top priority in building 21st century national infrastructure, and whereas a healthy freight and passenger rail network is essential to keeping America economy moving efficiently, and whereas Dodge City has benefited from the train services on Amtrak Southwest Chief Route And whereas Amtrak continues to work with states on development and next generation of high-speed and intercity passenger rail trains, which will create good jobs in the United States by resurrecting the domestic manufacturing base. And whereas during 2025, from October 2024 to September of 2025, Amtrak welcomed aboard more than 3.8 million passengers, up to 5.1%. And whereas 4,682 passengers boarded or disembarked Amtrak trains in Dodge City during 2025. Now therefore, I, Daniel Pogue, Mayor, do hereby proclaim May 9th, 2026 as National Train Day. Is there anybody who'd like to speak on that? All right. Next up, we will have National Travel and Tourism Week. Yes, please. We will let Megan do her part.
Thank you, Mayor Pogue, and thank you, Commissioners. Megan Welsh, the Director of the Dodge City Convention and Visitors Bureau. This week is National Travel and Tourism Week, and so with that proclamation, whereas travel has a positive effect on Dodge City and the state of Kansas's economic prosperity, and whereas the travel industry fuels every industry and will continue to be an essential part of Dodge City's economy, development, and workforce, and whereas tourism is an economic driver, a business recruitment tool, and a building block for state and community pride for Dodge City. And whereas travel to and throughout Kansas provides significant annual economic benefit to the state, generating more than $13.4 billion in direct and indirect sales, including $9 billion spent directly by travelers. And whereas key indicators from the 2024 Economic Impact of Tourism in Ford County report show that leaders in the community support the importance and growth of tourism in Dodge City and throughout Ford County, with visitors spending $187 million in Ford County for 2024. And whereas in Ford County, travel in Ford County generated $17.4 million accruing to state and local taxes, with the two largest category spends being in recreation at $51.7 million and food and beverage at $45.4 million here in Dodge City. And whereas the travel industry is the fourth largest employer in Dodge City, supporting 1,750 jobs in Dodge City and resulting in $72.6 million in wages and benefits. And whereas the travel industry is the heartbeat of our community, businesses inviting visitors from around the globe to enjoy the experience that only Dodge City can offer. And whereas welcoming travelers from near and far has always been and will always be the enduring spirit of the travel industry in Kansas.
Now therefore, I, Daniel Pogue, Mayor, do hereby proclaim May 3rd through the 9th, 2026 as National Travel and Tourism Week. Be it further resolved that the City of Dodge City, with the aid of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, will hold a reception on May 5th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Boot Hill Museum with complimentary historic trolley tours on that day at 9 a.m. and at 10:30 a.m. in observance of National Travel and Tourism Week, and urge the citizens to join me in this special observance with the appropriate events and activities.
Thank you. I would also like to point out there is a whole list of activities. So today we had What's Poppin' in Tourism. So we invited the community out to enjoy popcorn down at the Visitor Center. Tomorrow is Takeout Tuesday. So we have over 113 different restaurants across our community. So we encourage everyone to go out, grab a meal. If the weather was a little nicer tomorrow, enjoy a lunch down in Wright Park. Wednesday is Wish You Were Here Wednesday, so stop by the Visitor Center and send a postcard to your loved ones. Thirsty Thursday on Thursday, so start your morning off with Redbeard Coffee. And then Friday, we're going to be celebrating those who make us great. So hopefully come Friday, we'll be able to announce, depending upon their schedule, the 2026 Outstanding Frontline Employee of the Year Award. I do want to also mention real quick that the visitor spend that I mentioned, $187 million, that is going into our hotels, our restaurants, our businesses, retail, gas stations. It is all across our community, and that is an 8.6% increase over 2024, where this entire state of Kansas only grew 2%. Here we outpaced the entire state. Tourism is Ford County is more reliant on tourism than the entire state is as a whole. When you break down that $187 million, that is approximately $512,000 a day that travelers are coming in, spending money in our community, and then leaving. And so it's a great asset for our community and a great support to all of our local businesses. So thank you for having us.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Historic Preservation Month proclamation. Whereas the historic preservation is an effective tool for managing growth, revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintaining community character while enhancing livability. And whereas Main Street America and local programs like Main Street Dodge City play a vital role in promoting preservation-based economic development and revitalization efforts. And whereas the National Trust for Historic Preservation has designated May as National Historic Preservation Month to celebrate the nation's heritage and historic places. And whereas the City of Dodge City recognizes that its historic buildings, sites, and districts represent a rich culture, heritage that contributes to the community's identity and economic vitality. And whereas throughout ongoing preservation efforts, the City of Dodge City continues to celebrate its unique history while supporting future growth and tourism. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and City Commission of Dodge City, Kansas do hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Historic Preservation Month in Dodge City and encourage all residents to recognize and celebrate the importance of preserving our community's historic resources. I have therein set my hand this 4th day of May 2026. Anybody else? Anybody want to speak on?
Just very quickly, Mayor and Commissioners, Assistant City Manager Melissa McCoy, and on behalf of the Main Street Board, our Design Committee, and our Historic Landmark Commission, just want to thank you for your ongoing support of our historic preservation efforts within our community that's helping to preserve our heritage. I'll also extend an invite. The Ford County Historical Society invites everyone to their Legacy Art Reception that's happening this Wednesday at 5:30 at the historic Carnegie Center for the Arts. There's some wonderful projects that celebrate that building and what a wonderful landmark it is. So encourage everybody to go out and enjoy that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Public Service Recognition Week.
Public Service Recognition Week, May 3rd through the 8th, 2026, whereas Public Service Recognition Week was established to honor the men and women who serve our nation as federal, state, county, and local government employees, and whereas public service employees play a vital role in sustaining and improving the quality of life in our community by providing essential services such as public safety, infrastructure maintenance, administration, public health, and community development. And whereas the City of Dodge City is committed to recognizing the dedication, professionalism, and hard work of its employees who strive to meet the needs of the residents, businesses, and visitors each day. And whereas public servants often work behind the scenes, demonstrating integrity, accountability, and a commitment to excellence while serving the public interest. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the contribution of these individuals and to express appreciation for their efforts in making our community a safe, vibrant, and welcoming place to live and work.
Now therefore, I, Daniel Pogue, Mayor of the City of Dodge City, do hereby proclaim May 3rd through the 8th, 2026 as Public Service Recognition Week in the City of Dodge City and encourage all residents to join in recognizing and thanking our dedicated public employees for their service and commitment to our community, dated this 4th day of May 2026.
So throughout the year, we actually recognize each one of our divisions and our departments, and we don't necessarily do one grandiose type service for Public Service Recognition Week, but we also do have get-togethers throughout the year for all of our city employees. But just want to thank them for all they do, and they definitely work tirelessly and behind the scenes.
Next up, we'll have the visitors section. Limit of 5 minutes per individual, 15 minutes per topic. Final action may be deferred until the next city commission meeting unless an emergency situation does exist. This time, anybody who'd like to speak?
Hi, I'm Mike Benzel from the Christian Motorcyclists Association. And the end of this month, the 28th through the 31st, we're going to have a rally down there at Hoover Pavilion. And I'll just give you an invite to come down and go through it. Thursday evening, we're going to have a kind of a bike show in the parking lot of Arby's, and it starts from there and goes through the week until Sunday morning of the church service at 8 in the morning. So, for what it's worth, we invite you to come on down. You don't have to own a motorcycle. You don't even have to wear leather. Just come on down. And I don't even live in this town, but I'd like to take the time to thank you guys for your service. It's not always easy serving the public, and takes a lot of patience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Howard Fisher. I'm a resident of Scott City. I am a director of coaching for High Plains Youth Hockey, and I've been with High Plains Youth Hockey coaching with that since its inception in 2011. And this evening I'd like to introduce to you Austin Sutter and Caitlin Anderson from Amarillo. And I'd like to do that by way of a short, brief history, and I promise I'll keep this quick. We started in 2011 when the facility opened up. And we've hosted a couple hockey tournaments since 2011, and over the years we decided to move away from USA Hockey and go with something different, and we partnered with Oklahoma City, playing our kids because of the level of play that they are. We were playing in Oklahoma City 2 or 3 times a year, and they would come to Dodge City, and sometimes we would host friendly tournaments, if you want to call that, here in Dodge City. Sometimes we'd have some overnight deals, Saturdays and Sundays. And when COVID hit, our program pretty much almost died. Oklahoma City kind of went its way, Wichita kind of went its way, and we kind of were fizzling down. And then in 2021, we lost our ice. And so I called Jim Johnson, and I think many of you knew Jim Johnson. I told him, I'm just going to have to, well, just go ahead and resign, and you guys can do what you want with the hockey program because there really isn't anything left. And he called me back and said, there's a man by the name of Austin Sutter. He's going to be calling you about bringing kids to a tournament in Amarillo. And I argued with Jim for a little bit, and I said, Jim, we have no kids, we have no ice, we have no program, we're done. He said, just give Austin Sutter a chance. And so Austin Sutter called me, persuaded me to try to recruit some kids. He had kids down there, we got kids here. Let's see if we can combine them and build a hockey tournament. So I managed to recruit 8 kids from all over southwest Kansas, some from here in Dodge. And we went to Amarillo, and it's been a complete success. We've been going to Amarillo ever since, once a year on MLK weekend. This year, I took 3 teams to Amarillo. I've been taking adult teams to Amarillo for the past 5 years. My son and I were referees, and we learned to referee in Amarillo. Their partnership with us has been essential, and it's really saved our program. And what happened when that first year happened and Jim Johnson called me, we didn't have any money. And so I want to say thank you to Melissa McCoy, because she, with her leadership and this council, supported us to be able to go to Amarillo that first year. If this council had not supported us, our hockey program would have died, in my opinion. And so because of your support and Melissa McCoy's support over the years, we've been able to start really partnering with Amarillo and growing every year, doing more and more. I've been taking adult teams to Amarillo. This year was by far and away our biggest event ever, on January 4th and 5th. With your support, Why Not Kansas support, we held an 18-game weekend, 10 on Saturday the 4th and 8 on Sunday the 5th. We brought in 4 out-of-state teams from Amarillo, 1 out-of-state team from Kearney, Nebraska, and Wichita, Kansas came out. This all happened because of your support and because of Amarillo, because of Austin Sutter and Caitlin Anderson spearheading to help us remain in a state of that we still have a hockey program because of them. And so it's my dream, it's my hope that we use that United Wireless facility to the max. I think it's, personally, my own opinion is it's an underused facility. You have indoor arena football, which is terrific. You've been hosting volleyball, you've been hosting wrestling and basketball tournaments and concerts. I'd like to see the United Wireless Arena filled every weekend. I'd like to see Garden City people travel to Dodge City. I'd like to see more liberal kids coming to Dodge City and growing up just the way my kids did. They know the smells, the bells, the whistles of this facility. They grew up here, and my kids live 90 miles away. Now, they've grown up and moved on, but there's a lot more kids that come. And the selling point of hockey here is everyone plays. If you've had a kid in baseball win a championship game and sitting on the bench and never getting on the field, that kid doesn't care. When it comes to hockey, he has to play. Everybody plays. I've had more team owners call me over the last 5 years trying to get into Dodge. Ask me, how do I get into Dodge? I'm just a coach. I don't even know why they call me. But they call me trying to figure out, how do I get into Dodge? You are the center. It's 4 to 5 hours to Amarillo. It's 4 to 5 hours to Oklahoma City. It's 4 to 5 hours to Tulsa. It's 4 to 5 hours to Kansas City. It's 4 to 5 hours to Kearney, Nebraska. It's 4 to 5 hours to Pueblo. It's less than that to Wichita and Topeka and other places that want to come here and play. You have a gold mine. You have something beautiful. You have something that is a treasure that's in all of western Kansas. And I hope that we could really make use of it. It's really a beautiful facility, and thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Howard, and good evening. I'm Austin Sutter. I'm originally Canadian, and hockey, to me, is the greatest game in the world for a lot of reasons, and not because what you see on TV. I heard you guys talking about it before the meeting here, but I believe God works in mysterious ways, and he brought me to Amarillo, Texas, and we've been building a ministry down there using the vehicle of hockey. To say the least, that's basically what it is, to bring families, kids, youth, young and old, men, women, boys and girls together in a very special way. When I started in Amarillo, I was a former professional player there. I retired from playing the game, decided to get back to the community and grow it. And we started with 32 kids in a multi-sport event center, much like what you have here. It's the Amarillo Civic Center, rodeos, trade shows, different things like that. The ice was in, the ice was out, but we made it work. And we built it to 400 to 500 kids. We built a skating rink across the street. That's a full-time 365-day facility that kind of it partners with the big building, is what we call it, right? Civic Center. And so for me, my wife is from Guyman, Oklahoma. I met a great friend in Howard, and we've been building this beautiful partnership with the local kids of this region that do come to Amarillo, and vice versa. We sent our teams back here this year, and I actually attended a tournament here 13 years ago in the brand new facility at the time, I believe, and it was incredible. And for me, being in the industry, I own 2 teams. I have a North American Hockey League team, a North American 3HL team. I own the skating facility. I own and operate the facility. And then we have a 20-year lease at the Civic Center in Amarillo where we maintain, we take care of the ice, and we do it all. So we know the industry inside and out. We know how to build teams. We know how to get fans and butts in the seats. But that's not really why we're here, to be honest with you. I have a lot of colleagues in the business, as Howard alluded to, that have tried Dodge City as a marketplace to come and start a business and create something here, which I agree with him. You guys have a gold mine. You have something here that is, the hardest thing is to find the facility and the ice plant and to make 17,000 square feet frozen every day, right? That's the hard part. You guys have that. You know, the easy part is building it. It's not that easy, but I don't think there's a better group than us to do that. And for me, it's not a business model of, you know, trying to come in here and sell you on something. I truly think that there's a group of kids and adults here that are underserved that could really utilize a program, a sports program, and an ice sports program, not just hockey. There's public skating, there's all types of different stuff. There's broomball, there's Christmas events, there's tournaments. And the economic impact that we've had in Amarillo is just astounding. We bring in hundreds of teams at a time now with both facilities across the street from each other. They serve as what we call a twin arena. And we see that here. And we see that the model here would be a grassroots level where you build hockey from the bottom up. It's not, you know, I think putting a team in the arena is the show pony. You have to have that to build the game. But it's really about building the learn to play programs, introducing it at an affordable rate, taking all the excuses away, which is equipment, travel, all those different things. If you can take that away from these families and really introduce them to something special, you can change their life forever. And that's what we've done in Amarillo, man. We've positively impacted thousands and thousands of people for generations now. I have kids that I coach that are now coaching in our program. We have kids from all over the world that come to Amarillo to play for our teams. We have families that open their homes up to house these players. You have people from the community who have never been to a hockey game that come for their first time, or they try skating for the first time. And there's so many different ways we can positively impact a community like this. And I just see it as so much potential. Not really necessarily something I personally would want to come into to try and make $1 million or anything like that. It's to me, it's something that you could really lay your head down at night and really know that you're impacting people the right way. And I know there's a lot of people that have come through to try and do it. I'm at a place personally where our business is 6 years in. It's running itself. It's doing really well. We lead our league in attendance. Our youth hockey, adult hockey is booming. And in a sense, looking for a new project. It's right down the road from us. And I think you guys have a phenomenal community, and from what it sounds like, the support to make that all happen. So I know the industry, I know the business, I know that Venue Works, I believe, is managing the facility. I know that there's things like that that we could overcome. Like I said, it's not like we're just a hockey team trying to come in and put a team in. To me, this would be a whole community, youth sports, adult sports, the full circle of it all. So that's all I have to say. We're just here to introduce ourselves, nothing more really than that, and maybe answer any questions that you have. I brought our general manager, Caitlin, who what she does is she runs our facilities. So when I told you we have the 20-year lease at the Amarillo Civic Center, she oversees all of it, from ice maintenance to cover-ups for other events coming in, ice going out. She oversees our programming's youth, adult, figure skating, and where she's really done well is the growth in the tournaments, and that's what I'd like her to touch on if we have a little bit more time on the economic impact that we've had in Amarillo just through ice sports alone over the last 5 or 6 years. So thank you for your time, and appreciate all that you do here for this community, but I'll open it up to Caitlin. Okay.
About 4 minutes? Your take.
Hi, thank you guys. My name's Caitlin Anderson. Like Austin said, I'm the GM at the Amarillo Ice Ranch. Give you a little background on me, kind of to get into where Howard came from with kids coming in. My son, we lived in New Mexico. I was a golf professional for 20 years. That's what I did for a living. He picked up the game of hockey. Where are we going to play hockey? Closest place was Amarillo, Texas. And so we drove an hour and a half for 6 years for my son to play travel hockey in Amarillo. Started with our Learn to Play. getting kids in the grassroots of all of it, super introductory, and it just grows from there. I have more kids signing up for Learn to Play. When we walked in, I had 6 phone calls from my Learn to Play groups going, hey, how do we sign up for summer hockey? So we're rolling into that right now. Tournaments are our bread and butter. We bring over 100 teams in every year. That's outside of our NA3 group. When Austin said, we're going to bring an NA3 team in, I said, how? We don't have enough ice. I've got so many youth events going on, so many adults coming in, and we make it work. With the 2 sheets, it's awesome. With the facility I saw today, we drove by. I couldn't imagine walking into that building every day to go to work. Like, what a diamond in the rough, like sitting there just not having hockey there, right? Economic impact in Amarillo with those 100 teams coming in. We partner with local businesses, local restaurants, as well as hotels. I've got hotels that are already sold out for MLK weekend because they know the tournament's coming. Kansas and Howard, we talked about why not do a huge Kansas tournament where all these teams come in, and that's what it is in Dodge City. You're calling to get a hotel room and there's not. Well, why is there not a hotel room? Well, we got a hockey tournament this weekend. And that's what we look to do. That's what we love to do. As far as cover-ups and things like that, I know Howard said that, you know, the facility's not used but the 6 weeks out of the year. My question to you guys would be why? Is there a reason for that? Is it a lack of knowledge in the ice industry for a cover-up? We host the largest rodeo in Amarillo, Texas, the WRCA. They bring in 30 truckloads of dirt and plop it right on top of my ice. I get it ready for them. We put a polar floor on top. They go ahead and cover it, and then we take it all off, and we get it uncovered, and we have a game the next Friday night after they're out of the building. So I think it's very doable here. I think it's coming to this community and putting in this community, bringing a team here. You've got kids that are coming to this community to work. They're living with families here. We do billet homes. So they're living in your community. They're a part of your community. Your school's here, Hockey for Health. We're sending those kids. Our NAL program, we just had Community Service of the Year, Mason Lupo, because at the time he's putting in Amarillo. He's a kid from Connecticut, but he's putting all the work he can into Amarillo, and that's what we want to do here in Dodge City.
What's the ask then as far as time frame wise?
It's not, I don't, sorry to come in and barge in your meeting, and it's not a big ask. It's just more creating awareness to you guys that there's something here. In the industry, we've been told by other owners that I'm friends with that they've tried to come in here, that they get turned away very quickly, that I'm not really sure why. So for us, it's more of we have relationships with, I'll call them your families, kids in this community who have a passion for hockey and ice sports, and they're being underserved. We want to come in and help with that. So whatever that means, I don't know what that means. Is that?
Are you saying your ice is accessible year round in Amarillo?
I built a skating rink, let's call it, a hockey rink, but it's year round. But we also have I have a 20-year lease with the Civic Center that's owned and operated by the city of Amarillo.
Okay.
And that's where our team plays out of, but we practice. It's eerily similar, the two markets, other than Amarillo is a lot bigger population-wise, but it's like as far as how it operates from the standpoint of facility and youth hockey, adult hockey, figure skating, we built it on what you guys have here, to where we got to a point where we built our own arena.
Okay.
Right?
So you're looking like August to March, April timeframe.
So we'd be willing, if the deal was appropriate, if it was right, we'd be willing to put in an anchor tenant, a hockey team. That's, in my opinion, the show pony to grow the game at the grassroots levels, to build it up so you can host and do all these wonderful things for the kids and the adults in the community.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily let's bring in a hockey team and let's sell beers and hot dogs and tickets. That's part of it, but it's really about having year-round. I'm not talking 365 days, but like August through April or May, the season, having the ice in and working with the venue and the management group that they do have other events and you do have to drive revenue, but we do that. We're very good at that. And so getting the ice in more consistently, at least the start, where we can have an anchor tenant team and have programming built around that. Youth and adult and figure skating, those, and public events. I mean, we Christmas time, like from Thanksgiving to spring break, we can't keep skates on our rack. They're sold out. I mean, we're at capacity.
Your Honor, I think this is the type of conversation should be held with staff.
Yeah.
in public session.
Melissa, can you take some information and, you know, reach out and let them look at that idea and then, you know, work with Chris and see what we can't come up with?
Be happy to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other visitors that would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the consent calendar.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and second. All in favor, raise your right hand. No further discussion. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We have no ordinances and resolutions. No unfinished business. This time we'll move on to new business. First up is the approval of a quote for sanitary sewer monitoring equipment and service. Report by Tanner Rutschman, City Engineer.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight I'm presenting the quote we received for sanitary sewer flow monitoring equipment. As you know, we recently completed our sanitary sewer master plan, and working through that master plan, it was determined that we, through theoretical calculations on flow, were surcharging or overcapacity on specific segments of sanitary sewer throughout town. When they come up with a theoretical flow calculation, they base that off of number of sewer service taps and type of business or residential unit that is connected to the sewer, and they can calculate approximately how much flow we have going in our sewer mains. But that's just theoretical, so we need to actually determine an accurate flow in our sewer mains to determine what capacities we have remaining and what areas we need to expand capacity, and if we want to have additional development flow into those sewer mains. So staff has worked with our design consultant. We have identified 12 locations where we'd like to collect sewer data. Some of it's along some of our major routes like Wyatt Earp and Trail Street and Park Street. This equipment is a quote from McIntyre Management Group, and you retrofit it onto existing manhole structures that it just sends a laser down, and it can calculate the depth of flow in the sewer main, and it can calculate that flow for you. It's for a 2-year service period. We technically only need 3 months of data collection at these 12 locations, but with a 2-year service period, we can relocate this flow monitoring equipment to other locations around town to collect additional data, which we feel like it would be beneficial to have more than just the 12 locations. If we have the equipment, it will be purchased, it will be ours. We will own the equipment, so we might as well, during that 2-year service period, collect as much data as possible. One of the key drivers in this is we've looked at future development areas around town, specifically out west, between the casino and the golf course, out on West Comanche. There's concern on capacity in the sewer mains that would service that area. So one of the key findings is determine how much capacity we have and what types of improvements we need to make to be able to service that area of town for growth for the future. But the quote for the equipment totaled $94,105.83. We did look at a quote from an alternative equipment provider, but it was a lease, not purchase of the equipment, and it was over this $94,000. So these smart covers is what they're called. They're tried and true. This Garden City has like 48 of them installed permanently in their city. So it's equipment that has proven to work and provides sufficient data for planning and system expansion. But it's staff's recommendation to approve the quote from McIntyre Management Group, Inc., and I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you might have.
I guess, Tanner, as you decide to move these around, is this something that we can do ourselves after the
Correct.
initial installation?
Yep, we'll be there with their tech, showing us how it gets installed so that we'd be able to relocate them ourselves.
What's the 2-year? I'm not understanding the 2-year stuff. That's just website access?
Yes, to the data.
So how do you collect it after 2 years?
You can download it. So if you want to go out and collect more data, you just re-up your service through them to collect more data. But that's why we want to go out and collect as much data as possible.
So you own the equipment after 2 years, but you can't really use it unless you
You own the equipment right off the bat, yeah.
But you really can't use it after 2 years unless you re-up on the data.
Correct.
Yeah.
But there could be a new development area that we need to go look at. It'd be handy to have the equipment to go out and just pay for the additional service.
Where's the data sent to, like a server or how?
It's satellite.
Okay.
It has satellite communication so that they can access it.
Yes, it's sent to a server somewhere.
Are there any other questions or discussions with Tanner? If not, I'd seek a motion.
I make a motion to approve the quote from McIntyre Management Group in the amount of $94,105.83 for sanitary sewer monitoring equipment and service.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Tanner. Up next, we have approve the quote for complete plumbing improvements necessary for the installation of the new direct-fired thermal oxidizer. A report by Tanner Richmond, City Engineer.
Mayor, Commissioners, tonight I'm also presenting the plumbing quote we received from Tetro and UCI for the direct-fired thermal oxidizer. As you know, we've been working through the installation of this equipment. This was one of the remaining components of the installation. We still have a couple more components we account for. But this quote includes all the plumbing, so the pipe work and connections and valves for this new thermal oxidizer. It took a while to get the plans finalized for this plumbing work. We were working through a modification to have a bypass installed as well while we're working on this plumbing. So we will have a bypass to our candlestick flare in an upset scenario. So we won't have immediate shutdown of the facility. So it gives us some flexibility in operations of the facility. But as you know, the existing tox is deteriorating. We have purchased our new thermal oxidizer. It's on site awaiting final installation. We've already moved forward with the foundation, electrical, and SCADA system equipment, and now we have the plumbing. The only thing we have remaining after this is Pedrati's and Guild's programming work to make sure that all the different pieces of equipment are communicating for operational purposes. Even with this item, it puts our remaining budget at $344,912. The quote for the plumbing work is $109,607. But it is staff's recommendation to approve this quote for plumbing work of the new direct-fired thermal oxidizer. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Tanner? You think we'll come in under budget?
Yeah, I think we're pretty good. The other costs that on these quotes, so the previous equipment, electrical and SCADA equipment quote, UCI didn't have their costs included. They just wanted to push the quote through to to keep things moving and get those long lead time items accounted for while they were still working through the additional scope required for the install. So we'll have a number from the programming side and then one from UCI for their piece of the install still.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion to approve the quote from UCI in the amount of $109,607.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Tanner. We have no other business. Staff reports?
Mayor and Commissioners, we're going to have a study session before our next meeting. We're going to talk a little bit and get some guidance on some major road projects and also give you kind of an update where we're at with water and water master plan that that's been worked on. With the failure at the South Wastewater Plant, we're just going to need some guidance in regards to engineering efforts moving forward on some of these projects. So we'll have a discussion at our next meeting during the study session.
Cool.
I just wanted to let you guys know, I received notice today that the city, for the second year in a row, received the GFOA Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. So I would like to say thank you to Emmanuel and Roxana. They worked on that and submitted that, so.
No, thank you to you all. Paige?
Just real quick, I want to update the commission that the Law Day event went really well, thanks in no small part to city staff's contributions, CVB and Parks donating prizes for middle school kids, City Manager Nick Hernandez and Fire Chief Brad Hines and Police Chief Jared Gertzen donating their time. Main Street Director Hugo Hernandez was there as well. And I think the kids got a lot out of it, and it was a really great event. So thank you to everyone who helped out.
Nobody else? At this time, I'd seek a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.